I am Julian Priester. I have been performing as a jazz artist. I prefer the term artist as opposed to jazz musician. Uh, I decided that I would officially move to New York City because both down in Washington and Mount Hampton were headquartered there. By this time I was familiar with New York, and I felt that it was time for me to make the move, so I, I did that. And once I arrived in New York, I went down to a club called the Five Spot where Johnny Griffin, an ex-Chicagoan, was performing with Thelonious Monk. And we went directly to the Five Spot. Johnny Griffin, at that same evening, after the gig, took us to his apartment, and Monk was there. Johnny fixed breakfast for all of us, and we sat around and talked. And you can imagine my pleasure to be in New York, the first day in New York, and I'm having breakfast with Thelonious Monk. That was wonderful. So Johnny Griffin also was instrumental in introducing me to Orrin Keepnews, the vice president of Riverside Records. And Orrin Keepnews put me to work in the shipping department, boxing up records and sending them out to various distributors. And at the same time, in the same shipping department was Kenny Drew, the pianist, Chet Baker, the trumpet player, Wilbur Ware, the bass player. Philly Joe Jones was also in and out of there during that particular time. And so I had an opportunity to collaborate with a few of these individuals. Philly Joe Jones in particular, did a recording with him. I also did my first recording as a leader. Recording came out as entitled Keep Swinging. Had a photograph of me in front with my trombone in my hand, and in the background was a picture of somebody like John L. Sullivan, the prize fighter, and so the caption of the album, the title of the album was Keep Swinging, and it was, the image was that, of course, musically swinging, and the John L. Sullivan was a very successful individual in the fighting business, so it all fit together. I also did some other recordings for Riverside Records with Johnny Griffin, Lou Mitchell, and who else? I think it was one more. I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, that was sort of like the launching of my career, and because as a result of me recording with those individuals who had already had a reputation, it sort of elevated my image as a jazz artist. I wasn't a rookie anymore. I had credentials, and I was able to use those credentials to move even further up the ladder in the jazz world. So I wound up staying in New York for 8 to 10 years, during which time I performed and recorded with Freddie Hubbard, with McCoy Tyner. As a matter of fact, McCoy Tyner was on that second album that I did for Riverside Records. The first album I had, my rhythm section, was Tommy Flanagan on piano, Sam Jones playing bass, and Elvin Jones on drums. And the saxophonist that was on that recording with me is Jimmy Heath, one of the Heath brothers. And again, that elevated my stature as a jazz artist. I'm in really good company performing with those individuals. And that also made me eligible to record with the other individuals, Donald Byrd, and Sam Rivers. I did that recording with him. I did a recording with Duke Pearson's orchestra. And so it was really good times I had in New York.